Zamo, we still can't hear you.
Good morning, colleagues. We seem to be having some technical issues. However, our MC, Ms. Nomzamo, is just going to log off and log in again. In the meantime, I'm going to introduce our first speaker, who's going to welcome us. His name is Mr. Makahane Fatwane. He's from Ekurhuleni. He's a student counselor in Ekurhuleni Regional Services. Mr. Makahane, if you are here, you can take the floor, sir.
I wonder if you will hear me as well, because I think, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can.
Thank you very much. Colleagues, I will call you colleagues and our distinguished guest, which is our students. Thank you very much for joining us. And I think first and foremost, I want to first appreciate the attendance of our manager, Dr. Pichwane, in our present, and then people who are working on the background, Gloria, Diksha, and everyone who has been responsible for this workshop to happen. So our students, I think, in fact, my name is Fatwane Makahane. I'm a student counselor in Unisa Ekurhuleni. I would like to welcome you to this workshop, which is accounting. Remember, accounting is one of the most needed qualification. And then the country cannot go forward without accounting and agriculture and so on. So each career or college has got something to offer. So accounting is one of those, because if you do not have accounting skills, you are more likely to be robbed. And, when you wanted to check your statements, you won't even know what it means. All those small money that are going out of your account, 97 rand, 60 something rand, which you don't know where they are going, you are more likely to think that you know about them, and then they make a lot of money, and then you are running short of money. So accounting become a backbone and cornerstone of every qualification that you might be doing, because it ends with money. We all need money. So having said that, I would like to tell you that the workshop will be commenced now. I think our program director and the rest, they will be ready for taking you through the accounting. So therefore, also our invited guests, feel free to share all the information that you may have at your disposal, because our students need to hear that and understand about what accounting is all about. And then remember, it's also not only about students, because our students are going to become employees, they're going to be parents, they're going to make the country go forward. Some of them, they are within the political fraternity. So this skill that we are going to provide to them is not going for waste. And then it's going to work in the communities, it's going to work in the government, it's going to work in their families. So having said that, I would like to declare this workshop open, and feel free to ask any question. We also have a chat box where you can send your questions. If you find that they will say, okay, we're moving to the next item, the next speaker, because of time press and so on. So feel free to put your information on the chat box. By so doing, there will be an expert to answer all your questions. Questions which are related to registration, NEFSAs, are not supposed to be sent to the chat box. Those are not our areas of expertise. However, if you send them, we're going to reroute them to the direct department, because we find that in most of our workshop, we find that some of the questions are not related to accounting or whatever. So we are not stopping you to do such, but let's rather try to minimize those kinds and focus on the information which is going to be dished in a day, which is accounting related. And to also simplify to you guys, remember, you can also form study groups together so that you can teach each other. Having said that, without wasting much time, let me give you an opportunity back to the program director. Thank you very much for the opportunity. And as for me, Fatwane, I will be listening the periphery and helping perhaps on the answering of the questions that might be needing us at the present. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Makahane. Okay, I just realized that when I started, because I was taking over to assist, I didn't introduce myself. So my name is Gloria Sepula. I will be assisting Ms. Nomzamo while she is trying to reconnect so that she can take us through the program. However, we will continue. In the meantime, as Mr. Makahanes has said, please do not post things that are not relevant to the workshop on the chat. And we also request the students who are busy posting their own private tutor classes or groups, please refrain from doing that. We do have mentors at Unisa. So a link for anyone who needs a mentor will be posted later in the chat. If you need a mentor, please check the link that will be posted by one of our colleagues, and then you can sign up for a mentor. So next up on our program, we have, just a second, colleagues, my system is also trying to fail me. Okay, next up we have Mr. Blessing Mayeza from SEMA. So if he is with us, maybe he can just unmute so that we can see that he is here with us. Mr. Mayeza, are you here?
Good morning, guys. I'm here. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I'm able to hear you. Just before you start, let me just tell our students who you are. So Mr. Mayeza, on his journey to becoming a CGMAA with few obstacles, namely finance, second is experience. He has completed a BTech CMA, and he's currently studying a master's in accounting, which is MEC, to increase his demand exceptions. So he is speaking from the background of SEMA. So all the questions that we had, I think yesterday about SEMA, they will also be addressed today. So please, if your mic is unmuted, please just make sure that it is muted throughout the presentation. We request that if you are not given a permission to speak, please make sure that your mic is muted so that we can all listen to the presentation and hear properly what is being said. Mr. Mayeza, you can take the stage, sir.
Morning. Just to confirm, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we are. If you can just put it maybe on the presenter mode so that it can be more visible.
1 second.
It's good now, thanks.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Is it visible now? Is it outside visible?
Yes, it's visible, sir.
Okay. So thank you very much, guys, for inviting me over to come and speak about SEMA. And yeah, I'm excited, and usually I get nervous when I have to address a lot of people. Funny enough, but it's fine. It's just for five minutes, and then everything starts flowing. So I'm Blessing Mayeza. I'm originally from KZN. I work for SEMA in Johannesburg. I've relocated. I stay in Johannesburg. What I do at SEMA, I do business development management. So I'm in charge of universities in South Africa and Namibia and Lesotho. That's what I do. I maintain those relationships, and I make sure that I break this information issue where a lot of people have perceptions about SEMA and have conclusions about SEMA, which sometimes are not correct, sometimes are correct. But today, hopefully, I'm going to give some clarity and some guidance in terms of what SEMA is, what SEMA does, why choose to align yourself with SEMA, and what are the possibilities of joining SEMA, and how do you achieve your designation as a global chartered management accountant. So in drift, this is me, a photo of me. And yeah, so usually I wear a suit and yeah, but since it's an open day, I'm at home and I'm wearing our t-shirt with our branding, you know. So what I'm gonna do today, so please ignore the times there. I'm not gonna take so much of time with this. I'm gonna take, yeah, like not a lot of time. So first, I'm gonna give you an idea or a description of what is SEMA and why is the AICPA in front of SEMA now, and also just to break the confusion, I'm gonna give us or a definition of what is management accounting to help us try and get an idea of SEMA, because I think the definition assists us in terms of answering what is SEMA. And then I'm gonna just give a brief overview of the competency framework and also our professional qualification, and give you an idea of how SEMA evolves and how SEMA is constantly in front in terms of digital skills and digital in a business world. How do we So first, this is a brief history of SEMA, and the ICPA. So before we were just SEMA, now we've had a merger with AICPA. AICPA is an American Institute of CPAs, which is from America. It has been in finance for close to 136 years. And then SEMA is Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, and it was founded in 1919. And this has helped shape the profession for almost 100 years. And then in 2017, that's when the merger happened. So we've merged with AICPA, we became one institution. So together we are called the association. But our branding everywhere now is becoming AICPA and SEMA. So don't get confused when you start seeing AICPA and think, is this something new or is it something different? It's still SEMA. It's just that we've had a merge, which means that now you've got a global perspective in finance and accounting. So now you've covered from all directions. So when you move to the US, you don't have to study a further qualification. If you're a CGMA there, they don't have to make you study anything more. When you move to the UK, because that's where most people move to, with SEMA, you don't have to study a further qualification or take extra tests, because whatever exam you take here in South Africa or in Africa, it's the same exam they're taking in the US or in the UK. So the benchmark is the same, And then today, what does SEMA look like in terms of membership, students, and professionals? So we are an ecosystem of close to 700,000 members, students, and professionals. So we in all the countries, we in close to 200 countries, where you find CGMAs, you find SEMA members in all those countries. So being a part of SEMA aligns you or equips you or puts you in an ecosystem of a global profession, which means you don't become a regional thinker. Because one of my issues was when I had to move away from KZN. It was really scary, since I was like from Natal, and they've been telling me about Joburg, and I was so scared because of how I thought. I was just a regional thinker. But being aligned with SEMA has helped me, open up my mind and see that I can be global, and that's our main slogan. That's our main drive, is to get our members to be global members, to get our members to be able to work in South Africa, but still liaise with people in Rwanda. You work in South Africa, but you're still being able to liaise with people in Mexico. That's our qualification, since the exam is the same everywhere, which means that we equipped you with skills that are able to make you communicate with people in all of the countries and all of the continents, So our purpose is to empower opportunity. That's what we do, to make sure that there's equal opportunities for people. We don't just take you to study SEMA since you come from a prestigious university or you come from one of the best schools. We give opportunity to everyone, that's able to afford and is able to comprehend the content and study and move forward. So that's one of our purposes, is to be there. And our mission is to drive accounting and finance, it's to make sure that accounting and finance is recognized, and we look after the profession. Since we're an accounting body, we make sure that we keep on upskilling our members, constantly in terms of the ever-changing business world. We dare, just to constantly make sure that they're taking CPTs, they are relevant, they are up to standard. And then we make sure again that the complexity of accounting can be really complex, it can be really complex. But as CGMAs, we are the people that in an organization that are able to break down that information to be understandable in the marketing department, since those people are not specialists in accounting. But as specialists in accounting, we teach, or we are able to take those spreadsheets, put them into a pie chart, make it make sense to everyone in an organization. So that's what we do as CGMAs, So yeah, the beginning of SEMA, and why is it different from other types of accounting. So I'd like to give you a definition of from AICPA and SEMA. We define accounting as an art of recording, classifying, summarizing in a significant manner in terms of money, transactions, events, which are in part or at least financially in character, and interpret results therefore. That is accounting. Merely that is accounting. But again, I heard the person that introduced the workshop, gave us a really good way of defining accounting. That is, it's a way that we account for everything that we do in terms of monetary value. That's how we account for. So when we speak about accounting from an academic point of view or a professional body point of view, we align accounting in two different branches. So there's accounting that is needed by internal stakeholders. There's accounting that is needed by external stakeholders. So internal stakeholders, merely the managers in the business, the other managers in other departments, they all rely on accounting information to budget for whatever activities they want to do. If you're in marketing, you need a budget to be able to know how much you're going to use for advertising. If you're in sales, you need a budget to say this is how much you're going to use to get the sales that the company needs from you. So that's the internal part of accounting. And then there's the external part of accounting, which is merely the shareholders of a company, the public, and creditors. For people to borrow you money, they need to know how your finances are going. That's the external part. SARS needs to know what's happening to your business. That's the regulatory body. Based on our South African context. So in rise to those different accounting bodies, then came up two types of accounting, which were management accounting and financial accounting. So I'm just going to delve deeper into management accounting. So management accounting is concerned with information, within the organization. So mostly that management accounting is the information that as I alluded, that it's for the internal use. That's usually, it's not authorized, it's not forced by law for us to have internal management accounting, but it's something that assists in planning and controlling for activities. For an example, I'd like to allude that I was employed by SEMA in 2019, during COVID, when people are losing their jobs, but I was able to get a job at that time. That merely tells us that as an accounting body, practicing what they preach, they were able to plan and control even unforeseen circumstances, based on the information that they had at their disposal. Hence, I always say that it's better to manage or have a strong internal accounting system than an external one, because external is there to find me out when I make mistakes. And also in the internal one assists me in avoiding those problems well in advance. Usually this information is for internal users. It's for managers. It's for us to plan in terms of how do we advertise. For an example, these like Pep, Pep would not advertise in September uniforms. Pep uses information that's on the financial statements that they saw that usually in January, that's when we make a lot of revenue. So it would make sense for us to start advertising in December before people start spending their money. So again, it's that internal information that companies have that assist them in planning and being able to go forward. So that is merely management accounting. And what is financial accounting? So the reason I like to distinguish the two, because most people, when we have these conversations about professional bodies, sometimes they say SEMA is here to compete or is competing with CAs. Again, SEMA internal usually is from the internal side of things. Psycha is external side of things. So we on our own different journeys. And also this thing of management accounting for me also made sense when I in my BTech I was doing management accounting. When I was doing a cash budget, I think it was a cash budget, I realized that I could get an answer by not following my lecturer's structure, and my answer was correct, and I would get full marks. Hence, management accounting was able to assist me in thinking outside the box, in thinking beyond the conventional way into getting solutions. Because the future that we are heading to is not about replicating processing tasks, is about applying strategy, implementing, using your thinking ability to solve problems. So when I was doing financial reporting, I would get marks for the structure, but my answer could be wrong. And I would try getting it my own way and it would be wrong. But if I had a structure, I would get a marks just for balancing. So those are the different ways of viewing this for me. So our competency framework, what underpins our qualification? What is SEMA? What's in the content? How do we derive what to teach or what to offer to our CGMAs? How do we get there? So what do we take into account? We take into account what the economy demands, what the employers demand, what's the education sector saying about accounting? How could we fix and modify certain things in education? So those are the things that govern the way we decide to give our content, So what happens is we've got the framework, which is business skills. We need to make sure that these people have the required business skills. We need to make sure that these people are staying up to date. They have the digital skills that it's needed in the economy. Because what I've realized, being a South African, I always like to reframe myself when I'm speaking about SEMA. I came to university, I couldn't even send an email. Like, I couldn't send an email. They told me they sent me my student stuff, my student number on my email. I've never sent an email. So for me, I didn't have the digital skills. I came from a government school. I didn't have those digital skills at that time, So what does the profession do now is we know there's a gap there. How do we fill it, How do we fill it? That's when we introduce these digital skills. We make sure that people are aware and are able to apply. And another sad thing that happened is during COVID, we lost our valued experience, our senior members in business. We lost them, we lost them because that time the economy needed us to be more digital. And most of our older generation didn't have those skills, So that frustrated them and made them leave their jobs, which we end up losing that working class. We lost that vast experience because we couldn't integrate that experience to digital world, in a business world. So we really lost that, So I think the demand for our qualification is is in a good time to try and secure these senior leaders that we have in order for them to bridge the gap and mentor the upcoming students, the upcoming pipeline. So that's where the designation comes in, because we accommodate everyone at every level. You at senior level, there is a way, a pathway to become a CGMA, because we value whatever experience you have. You're a student that has just left matric. We've got a way for you to achieve and acquire your CGMA designation. It's a conversation that we are able to have with everyone at every level. So I would get deeper into the exemptions, into the pathways of becoming a CGMA as I go further with my slides. So how do we develop this competency framework? On the next slide, I will just give you the what is the competency framework. But for now, I just want to tell you how we derive and develop this competency framework. So there's face-to-face interviews we hold. There's roundtables, there's surveys. We don't just sit down as a professional and say, today it's a good day to introduce Excel spreadsheets, into our qualification. We don't just sit down and do that. We do vast research. We have conversation with, again, the companies. What do you need in the finance function? What is it that you need? How can we integrate it into our content? We speak to our lectures. What do you see is a gap into the learnings? How could we introduce it? How could we bridge the gap from academia to professional qualification? We have those constant engagements. It includes up to 130 organizations, big corporations that we have conversations with, in not just in the UK or in America, since this body is technically from there. We have conversations in all 4 continents. We have conversation with everyone in all those continents. So we know that when we structuring our framework, it's aligned to everyone in everywhere. We even include Asia. We include Europe, we include America and Africa. In these conversations, in these roundtables. Especially now, since we just finalizing the future of finance 2.0. That, what is going to be the role of the finance professional in these upcoming years? We leading in terms of that, because we need to know what is going to be the role of the finance professional, since AI is taking over, which means that the repetitive stuff is going to go away. We're not going to need you to have a structure. We're going to need you to be able to get that information that you get from the financial statements and interpret it into insights that assist a business into making profitable or value creation, because that's the new term that's being used in terms of profit, because we need to always align our conversation to sustainable reporting in a way. But for the topic of today, it's just an introduction, a brief overview in terms of what CIMA is, what CIMA does, and how do we make sure that our qualification is aligned to the needs of everyone everywhere. So again, this is the competency framework that I was referring to. That the technical skills we make sure is the ones that are needed. The financial reporting, the cost accounting, the analysis of these financial statements, the risk management, the internal controls, accounting information. These technical skills are still needed in accounting. So we make sure that it's the right one. They talk to what the business needs. The business skills. Business skills. One of famous talk speakers speaks about that. In the future, business is going to be about relationships. It's going to be how you interact and engage with people. That's going to be business. As a CGMA, you're not just a person crunching numbers sitting in a corner alone. You're a holistic approach to the company's finance function. You're the core of the finance of the company, I'd say, because you sit in a center. You make sure that in terms of finances, in terms of budgeting, in terms of strategy, you are the one that's able to help and facilitate and diffuse this information problem that we have in the company. So you are there to make sure that you break it into smaller pieces so everyone in every way can comprehend and understand whatever that is meant to be done. Sorry?
No. I'm so sorry. Just looking at our
Time
constraints, sir. Mr.
Yes.
President, please, yes, but please keep going because I still want to open up for question and answer. Your questions are streaming in, but please proceed. Yeah.
Okay. So how many minutes do I have so I can just wrap up? How many minutes? Because I'm not really sure.
Let's
3
let's
minutes.
make it a 3-minute count, please.
3 minutes. No, that's fine. No, it's okay. It's okay.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
No, it's fine. So, okay. Getting to our SEMA, just in 1 minute. This is our framework, but I'm going to leave the slide with the guys. They can just share it with you guys, you know. So this is our framework. So again, hence I spoke about the different entry routes, you know. You can enter at any level, depending on the prior education or prior working experience you have. You can enter at any level. So you've got the certificate level where you don't have any post matric qualification or post high school qualification. You start at the certificate level. If you have a degree or diploma in accounting, you could get exempt from operational level. It just depends if your institution is accredited with us. We've got an exemptions database. We can check that for you. You can go into that level. If you've got a degree in accounting recognized, you could be honors in accounting. I'm just making an example, a master's in accounting. You can exempt from the management level. You'll start at management case study. Again, the exemptions are dealt with once we get it through our exemptions team. We got a team that's designated to work with exemptions. But since I was a specialist in exemptions, I can respond to most of the exemptions questions today. And I'm sure there's exemptions question. How our syllabus is structured. At operational level, you're managing the process, you're applying accounting rules, you're assembling and extracting data to provide information and insights. You know, that's what you're doing at operational level. At management level, technical specialist, you generate insights, you value creation and preservation of their respective areas. So that's where now you applying your specialist technical skills and at management level. At strategic level, you then there to make sure you apply strategy, you give direction and overall strategic implementation and direction. So again, I have our syllabus modules or whatever content we have for our syllabus. It's here on our slide. What's new? We've got data strategy, data analytics, data visualization, cybersecurity, ecosystem analysis, digital technologies, digital costing, digital literacy, business models, integrated reporting. That's our new into our qualification. That's what we integrated based on those conversations we had with business. That's what's needed. This is what we've introduced into our syllabus, you know. And that's where it's in those modules. Very important, you know. See, as a management accountant, you're driven by data. You know, you data driven. You don't make decisions because you feel like today's a hot day to say you don't like the accounting department or you don't like the marketing department. You're not going to give them budgets. You make decisions based on information. Hence, we teach you how to make those decisions. We teach you how to leverage data, you know. So this is merely a structure of how that goes, you know. So we've got FOP, which we don't offer directly to students in South Africa. We get it to our resellers. I'm not going to dive deep into that, but there's a slide that tells you what FOP is. It's a route to become a management accounting. It's like an FOP, it's like a Netflix subscription where everything is on the platform, but I'm not going to talk about that. Yeah. In closing, thank you very much, guys, for giving me this opportunity to be able to speak about SEMA. I was not aware of the time that I had, so I really took long. I apologize about that. But what I'd like to close by is, once you become a member, or how do you become a member? You cover our competency framework, which is those levels that I spoke about. You cover that, you give us 3 years of working experience. You don't have to work for a specific accounting firm. As long as you're in a finance function in any business, even it could be a security card company, but if you're in finance, you're there. And we can verify that working experience, and we know you've covered whatever's requirement for our PR experience, then we would award, based on assessments, we'd give you a membership. What you then get as a member is you could use our designations, which are ACMA, CGMA. You know, those are our designations. If you got more than 10 years in finance, you get the FCMA, which means you're a fellow, you know. And then once you become a management accounting, you get to be a part of a global body, you know, which gives you a lot of benefits. You know, you can travel to a lot of countries, you know. These are the roles that you might get as a CGMAs, you know, CEO, CFO, MD, COO, head of finance, finance manager. These are the roles that you might get once you become a CGMA. And then these are the potential salaries across the world, you know, the CGMAs. These are the salaries that you could get, you know. So the companies that trust us or choose CMAs, these are the companies globally that we have CGMAs at, you know. So this is part of our ecosystem. And yeah, thank you very much, guys, for allowing me to share my slide. Thanks, guys.
Colleagues, thank you so much, Mr. Blessing Maiza. Thank you so much. That was a stellar presentation. We absolutely appreciate the knowledge that you have imparted. Unfortunately, we are running behind time. But before I introduce our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, fellow attendees, my name is Nomzamo, and apologies for the technicalities that we experienced this morning. You know, it is not in our hands, but we move. You know, if there's one thing about this institution is always being a change maker and always having a plan B, and we are here for it. So apologies with what happened earlier. Unfortunately, I will be flying solo today. My co-host, Mr. Sulufelo, could not be here with us, but I'm here, and we together, you and I, are going to make it work. So thank you so much to our first speaker, Mr. Makahani, for the wonderful opening and welcoming. Miss Gloria for stepping up. We truly appreciate you. Quickly, before we move on to our next speaker, I just want to inform everybody that there are house rules. So to our panelists, please, if you see me switching on my camera, the time is moving, and I would want and I would love for our attendees to have an ample amount of time to be able to ask whatever questions they have for you, but I can't do that if you go beyond time. So please, if you see me switching on my camera, just know that I'm alerting you that we are running out of time during the presentation. We are running out of time, and normally I would like for 5 minutes before we introduce the next speaker for you to take live questions. But unfortunately, time is not on our side. Mr. Blessing, if you could please, sir, I beg you, kindly attend to our chat box. There are questions that have been listed there for you. Unfortunately, you can't take them on now because I need to introduce our next speaker for the day. So if you could just kindly move over to the chat box and attend to those questions, we would highly appreciate it. Now, without further ado, fellow attendees, a great honor it is to introduce our next speaker, the chairperson of ABASA Unisa, that is the Association for the Advancement of Black Accountants of South Africa, Unisa Student Chapter. Please welcome Ms. Amanda Keswa. Thank you. Ms. Amanda, the virtual stage is yours.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me. Can you please share, I've sent my slides through. Can you please assist me with that for my presentation? Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Without wasting any time, how can I not introduce you in such a beautiful journey of who we are and what ABASA is doing to advance for the advancement of Black students and Black accountants? ABASA, the background. It is an association for advancement of Black accountants of Southern Africa. It was established in 1985 to promote professional interests of Black persons. ABASA Unisa is a student chapter and a mass organ of the mother body, ABASA, which is committed to transform and betterment of society in general and institutions of higher learning. What is ABASA's mission? Our ABASA mission, our mission is to continuously design and implement innovative programs in partnership with different stakeholders to benefit Unisa students and to promote professional interests of persons engaged in accounting professions whose committed and dedicated and dedication is to pursue is in pursuit of professional and advancement of blacks in accounting profession. What is ABASA's objective? Is to improve students' academic excellence and reduce dropout rates and to develop their leadership capabilities. To be a networking channel between university students and accounting bodies. We help achieve an accounting profession that is demographically representative in nature. We also make sure on this edge we enhance the progression of female trainees and qualified chartered accountants. You know, ABASA has vast programs. ABASA run programs of workshops to help capacitate students in their academics, assist students by giving them advice when confronted with financial exclusion. We have a joint partnership with our stakeholders who are helping us a lot with tutors. That are big facets. They're playing a very crucial role in holding our hand. This initiative helps students to have an in-depth knowledge of finance management, taxation, auditing, and management accounting. We have established a joint mentorship program with Abeti Kekan to help students excel in leadership and the business world. This mentorship aligns students with their career goals, provides advice on academics, interviews, and transitioning from university to work. Our professional bodies play a crucial role in guiding students on the qualifications that is needed to become registered accountants or auditors. We didn't list all the professional bodies that we work with, but we do have it's almost many. I don't even want to start listing, but from Auditor General, SAIPA, SAICA, ACA, we have a good working relationship that assists us in ensuring that we carry our mandates very well. So I would like also to plead with other professional bodies to open their hands for us and hold our hand and guide us through when we knock in their doors in seeking assistance for the best interest of the students. I pause. If there are any questions, I'm willing to take them.
Oh, wow, thank you so much, Ms. Amanda. Truly appreciate how you stuck to the time. And yes, I am going to open up for questions, so my colleagues are just gonna assist me with the technical production of the slide. Should there be any questions, please do raise up your hands so that you can notify us that you have a question that you can ask. You are also welcome to type in or text in your question via the text box. Thank you. Okay, Miss Amanda, yes, I was scrambling to find some of the questions and read them out to you. We have a question from Daphne M that says how to join or sign up for ABASA ? So, Ms. Keswa, if you could just kindly share that information with us before I read you the next question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Abasa, you can reach us. We are available on social media as Abasa Unisa, and we are also available on our web page. We have you can affiliate using our web page because we have a link in our page, and I'll also share a link with you. I think I'll just drop it in our chat box so that everybody who wants to have an access to it can have an access. It's easy to join. Please be member of our advancement family.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I think also just sharing the information on the chat box or pasting a link on the chat box would be very helpful for anybody else who might have a similar question on how to go about joining. Our next question is, from unknown user says, does Abasa offer bursaries? Ms. Amanda?
The bursaries that we have many institutions that we're working with in terms of bursaries. FACET is one of them that is assisting most of our students. So yes, if you want to know how can you go about in benefiting in our bursary schemes or partners that we have that if that are issuing bursaries, just come to our office or send us a communication. We'll respond to that. But our main partner right now is FACET.
Beautiful. And is there another question? Oh, no, it just simply says, please share the slides with us. I'm guessing that speaks on both our speakers, Mr. Blessing Maeza and Mr. Amanda Keswa. Should you have any slides that you wish to share, please kindly put them on the chat box so our students or our attendees rather could have access to them. Thank you so much. And one last question from Cynthia. This is the last question. It says, can Abasa help with article training? This is the last question before I call on our next speaker. Ms. Keswa, please.
Yes, yes, we do have, we can assist our students. It's not like we directly have articles, but we have partners that are assisting our Unisa students with articles. If you want to know how can you benefit from this, please call our office, communicate with us. We will be of assistance. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Keswa, and thank you so much to our attendees for understanding our time constraints and really just respecting the house rules. I know that on our end, we are running a bit late and we are running out of time, but thank you so much this is a beautiful collaboration, you see. The University of South Africa prides itself with collaborating and always bridging a gap and pioneering a spirit of Ubuntu. So I am truly appreciative of how everybody is just adhering to the rules and everybody is using all forms of engagement to ensure that they still get an ample amount of what is being presented today and being shared with them. Now, however, it is an absolute honor to present to you our next speaker, a profession as a data analyst engineer. Ms. Makinta is a data analyst with over 10 years comprehensive experience in data analytics across professions or professional services rather, in mining, in consumers, in entertainment industry, and a proud graduate of Boston College with a diploma in financial accounting and a certified SAP consultant. Mr. Makinta is a very passionate person about transformation and data analytics. Ladies and gentlemen, before I continue Mr. Makinta's bio rather, I would just like to alert everybody that the College of Accounting Sciences is a science on its own. So we're all here to learn, and I'm learning with you, and it is absolutely amazing. For me, it is fascinating to see people engage about numbers. I know it's not just about numbers, but about numbers and taxation and all these other terms that are new to me. But yes, Mr. Makinta, intelligent solutions and to assist organizations to achieve their data strategies and goals with focusing on actionable insight. Fellow attendees, please welcome onto our platform, our virtual platform, Mr. Martin Makinta. Sir, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for that lovely introduction. Let me just quickly share my slides and let me know if you can see.
Mr. Makinda, your audio also, I just wanted to alert you that your audio was a bit shaky, but let's see once you share the slides if it's good.
Okay. Let me know when you see my screen.
Okay, we're just waiting.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. On my end,
Okay.
I can. I think we all can see your screen.
Okay, 100%. Apologies, I'm just using the web version. Can see. All right, am I showing the lovely snow mountain or the deep side?
It is still the mountain, sir, with the snow.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. All right, let me now get to the slides and go presentation mode. Again, let me know if you now can see it.
Data analytics. There we go.
All right, great stuff. Thank you again for that lovely introduction. And just without wasting much time, I'll just jump into it and just I'm on presentation mode. I know the house rules is we go through the presentation and maybe address the questions towards the end. But if there's any questions, I may take them through as we go through the content, right? And yeah, thank you very much again for allowing me to join. And as a way of introduction, I think there was quite a nice introduction for myself. But just to add on to that, again, my name is Maginta with quite extensive experience over a number of years on data analytics. And I think also someone may just ask, okay, why are we doing data analytics on, financial or accounting stream sort of workshop, if I may call it that. And I think you put it very nicely, right? It's fine. It's all about the numbers from a financial and accounting perspective. But what now I'm bringing is more of what do we do with those numbers? How do we go about and analyze those? And
Mr. Makinda, I'm
yes,
so sorry. I'm so sorry. But I'm seeing here on my chat box, they are struggling to hear you properly, and my technical director is suggesting that perhaps should you lose maybe your camera, it would assist. But yes, I am getting a lot of feedback that your audio is not very clear. Even on my end, I get you and then I lose you a bit. So the audio is a bit challenging. So I don't know if it's possible to attempt just switching off your camera and then let's test out the audio and see if it's okay now.
all right, cool. Give me a moment.
Okay.
I will also actually just try my headphones.
Can you hear me clearly?
On my end, it sounds clear, but should I switch on my camera again, I probably will be interrupting you to inform you of something else. But yes, I'm seeing thumbs. I'm seeing a lot of thumbs. So yes, I think.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Please proceed.
All right. Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right. So yeah, I was just going through my introduction and just to continue from that. I was just primarily saying, yes, the focus is around, financial accounting stream of profession. But now I'm bringing in, the data analytics into that same stream or the very same stream, just to see how that embeds into, the overall data analytics in organization operations across, multiple streams of professions as well, not just in the accounting and financial streams, right? And just again, a little bit of just to add to my background, I starting from high school, I was more interested in the numbers. I did what we used to call the commerce stream. Sorry to reveal my age there. And I completed accounting, maths, and economics at the time. And my aspiration then was to become an accountant, right? And yeah, hence I also went studied financial accounting, which was still sort of the path for me to study towards an accountant. But once I've completed my studies on financial accounting, so I got employment or I got some job, and I was doing financials for my employer. But something said to me, it's not just about the numbers, right? We need more. Yes, we can see the balance sheets, the trial balance, but what does it mean? What does it say? And I think that's where I developed interest in data analytics, to take the numbers beyond just the numbers. What is the data saying? What information can we extract from the numbers? What insights can we get from there? And that's where pretty much I started to embed myself into the data analytics stream, right? Or the data analytics profession. And yeah, that's pretty much where I come from. And yeah, just without wasting much time, let's just maybe jump into what is data analytics. I think some of you may know what data analytics is, but I just want to look at some of the key principles that we apply or that we follow when we do data analysis. So it's more of looking at, okay, what has happened in what I'm seeing. Yes, I'm seeing these numbers. Most of the time when this question is primarily asked is when organizations are not seeing good numbers, if I may put it that way. What happened? Why are we seeing these numbers, right? Why are we going through this, right? And I think to just bring it home, there's been a lot of economic challenges in South Africa. For example, just before COVID, we were just coming out of a recession, and organizations were pretty much asking themselves similar questions, during the recession and post COVID, even during COVID. For that matter, what happened? Why is my organization not as operating as it used to? Why am I not getting the margins that I'm used to? All of that, right? And that is purely enabled, or how do you answer those questions? You answer those questions with data analysis, right? You start to answer what happened and why it happened, and to about what will happen now. What is the impact of what I'm seeing, right? And with the impact, it's quite severe, right? And I think we've experienced that, in our families, in our society or economies, that people lost jobs post COVID, and that has been hard, right? That is the impact. It's not just in the organization, it's beyond organizations. It's things that executives and management in organization, we see that they struggle with to find that balance, because ultimately the core bottom line, if I may put it that way, for organization is to make money. But how do we now balance making money and ensuring that you also keeping people employed, and that has been a biggest challenge with the recent economic challenges that we've been facing, right? And those questions, again, are enabled or are supported by what comes out of data analysis or data analytics, right? And now someone may ask, but all of this is sort of retrospective, because we're asking what happened, why it happened, and all of that, right? We now talk about prescriptive, right? That is now looking into the future. Yes, we've analyzed what happened in the past. Now we look into the future. Okay, fine. How are we going to come out of this? How are we going to improve? That's where we look at the prescriptive analysis, right? But again, at the same time, that is still mitigating what has happened, right? And you will see just at the top on my description there, data analysis is often done with the help of specialized systems and software. Those are enablers, right? And these enablers now have been built in such a way that they can give us information, or all of these analysis close real time or close to real time. And by that, I mean, just to give you an example, let's say your organization is running, it's a courier company. We have 5 vehicles, and out of 5 vehicles, each vehicle has an average of 10 deliveries per week. And close to real time is when every day or every week, you realize that no, out of my 5 vehicles, 2 of them actually dropped from the 10 deliveries to 5, maybe 4. That is close to real time because you starting to ask these questions: what happened and why it happened, as soon as it happens. Unlike the traditional way of analysis was at the end of the month or at the end of the year when we prepare a financial statement and all of that. But now with all these enablers, the softwares, the systems, they help us now to realize this insight close to real time. Even in a day, in an hour, I've worked on a project where logistics company where they do analysis every hour based on how their fleet moves around and where the issues are. They do analysis close to at real time. And that is the evolution as well of these softwares and technology where we now talk about machine learning and artificial intelligence and all of that. It's just the enablers to make sure that when you do these analysis, we close to real time or we are at real time, and that is just, data analytics in a high level principles that we follow. There's more deep dive into each principle that I'm highlighting here, which it depends on the organizations. I mean, for organizations that have now sort of evolved to close to real time, they taking advantage of focusing on what will happen now. The what happened and why it happened, that comes seamless with this technology. But now you move from that, you just now moving towards how do I mitigate this? What is the impact, as soon as it happens? So that is the evolution of analytics, data analytics. All right. And just moving to the next slides. Someone may ask again why, but I think I covered a little bit more of why data analytics is quite key for organizations. But just to bring it home, for management and executives in organization, it helps them to make informed decisions, and these informed decisions are not thumbsucked from nowhere or just on a paper and a pen or just Excel sheets that you'd analyze your data, but on qualitative and quantitative um, um, information or data. You are 100% sure that you know why this has happened, and that is where you can make informed decisions without just thumb sucking why those decisions. And at the same time, we look at inefficiencies in operations. Data analytics has helped so many organizations to identify inefficiencies. Just again, using the example of a fleet company or rather a courier company. When you get to a point to pick up that 2 of your vehicles have dropped, you now need to drill down into, okay, fine, why? And the why will come out. For example, one of your vehicles, that is because that the driver was sick. That's why you dropped. And with that said, you start to think, okay, fine, how do I make sure that the vehicle is always on the road? It may now start to question your employment model or your operation model. You can't have 5 employees with 5 vehicles. You need to find an operating model that will ensure that your vehicles are always on the road at the same time, having sufficient employees to make sure that those vehicles are on the road. That's where inefficiencies will be picked up and addressed, with data analytics, and also looking at competitive advantage. Not operating in isolation. There's and again, using a courier company as an example, there's a number of them, thousands of courier companies in the market. There's technologies that now courier companies uses. I was giving an example with one of the logistics company that we've seen that they're doing analysis at close to real time. And one of the interesting thing is there was truck protest or truck um, um, vandalization a couple of months, and I think it started actually from last year. That company that does analysis close to real time, they were able to pick it up to say, I have 5 trucks on N3 going to Durban stuck, and they 10 hours late. That is That is real time, and that's how you gain competitive advantage, because already by that you can let your customers, you can make plans or find alternative way to get your services to your customers, and that's how you gain competitive advantage when you have a company that doesn't have close to real time or real time analysis, because they will only find out 5 days later or later in the evening that the truck didn't make it to the delivery point, one of those things. And that's where we highlighting competitive advantage as an enabler for your business as well. And also when we look at managing risks, these are primarily outside factors that organizations don't have control over. um, for example, regulation changes, and just with that, it can be where now the labor department has come forward and say, for every hour you're in the industry, for example, in the mining industry, your employees cannot work over this many hours of overtime, and because your operations was used to not having a threshold on overtime, it's going to hamper your production, and that's a risk to your business ultimately. But because you have to comply and abide to the new regulation, you can manage this upfront when you use data analysis, because you can go into your data and say, fine, I used to do this many hours over time, but now the regulator is saying I need to reduce it to this much. Already with that, you have in your hand how much production you're going to have going forward as compared to the past. And that's how you can manage the risk to start developing or coming up with strategies that will enable your business to function and still be sustainable in your margins and keeping the doors open, right? And just the last one is just around, customer experience. Ultimately, for every product and service, there's someone who's consuming that. And you need to understand, how your customers are receiving these products. I mean, you will have happy customers, you'll have, not so happy customers. You need to know that, and you need to know why, particularly around why my customers are not happy, which ultimately will improve your services. And there's a number of things why we're not happy with certain services, and some organizations are not interested to know why, and that actually puts them on the back foot of being competitive and having um, a portion of the clientele that will sustain their business. And with understanding your customer experience from consuming your product services, you can improve your delivery or your product and services delivery to your customer as well. So that is why the benefit around improving customer experience is always key as well from this. But again, the benefits of this, each organization or each industry may define what's suited to them, but these are the key ones across industries, not just specific to any industry in the market, right? And now maybe let's just bring it home a bit into data analytics in financial accounting, how this also comes into play when we look into financial accounting or professions around accountants and all of that. I've worked on a project where we were preparing information, or actually we built a solution for a client to monitor what we will say in internal audit controls. And this is purely just to ensure that when the external auditors come, you have your ducks in a row, right? And this process, or the internal audit controls solution, has actually evolved. Back in the days, this process would be performed just before the external auditors come in, primarily towards the end of the financial year. But it has evolved. It has evolved in a way that organizations are now performing internal audit controls on a quarterly basis, even on a monthly basis, for that matter, right? And it helps organizations to achieve clean audit, because you are able to pick up inefficiencies or deviations from your internal processes quite earlier, before the external auditor comes in. And the other thing with the technology, or the new technology that we are seeing, you are again able to realize these deviations at real time. For example, just taking procure to pay process. You would in an organization you would raise purchase requisition, PO to goods received, and then invoice and all of that. If there's any deviation in that whole process, the new applications, the new software alerts you as and when it happens at real time. As soon as someone processes a transaction and there's a deviation, there's softwares and systems that provides that real time, and that's key to the financial sector or the financial professions rather, to have that information on site. And I mean, if I'm talking to an internal auditor at this point, so this is something that will be very interesting to them and key for them to have. And that is just one example that I'm talking to primarily on the accounting side of things, right? And the other thing is we have regulations that continuously changes, right? You can also, and I think I spoke to this about from a labor perspective, but from a finance regulatory perspective, for example, how you report your financials and what needs to be included in your financials, all of that. Once the regulation is tabled, obviously it doesn't go to live immediately. You have reviews and all of that. But once you have sight of that, you start to do analysis. What will be the impact from my finance perspective? What will be things that I need to look into? Already by that, from a finance perspective, you can start to prepare organizations to make sure that they will comply to that, and what the impact means to the organization itself, right? And yeah, that's pretty much how the data analytics as well is embedded or can be embedded in your organization from a financial perspective or from a financial view, right? And I know, sorry, I've 1 minute over. Just on data analytics future, it's not the future anymore. It's now. So a lot of organizations, a lot of professions used to ask this question in the past: what is the future of data analytics? But now we need to be in a position to assist organizations, or organization needs to be in a position to now realize the value of data analytics in every stream. And someone may now ask, okay, how do I go about, embedding data analytics in my profession as an accountant, as a lawyer, as a doctor, as a baker? You have data in your business either way, and that is key to understand what is it that I need to analyze. And once you have that understanding, you are able to go and empower yourself as a profession to say, this is how I'm going to embed data analytics into my profession. For example, I mean, I've given examples around the accounting stream or the finance stream, on how you go about doing those analytics. And as an individual, over and above your for example, accountant qualification, there are certifications and courses that you can complete to, again, supplement your profession or your qualification with data analytics. And again, it has to be relevant to your profession or how you want to evolve your career on that. So with that said, I just want to pause there. I know I'm over time. I just to respect everyone's time, maybe I can take some few questions.
Thank you so much, Ms. Makinda. Thank you, and for attempting to stick on time. I know there is so much information to unpack and share, and our time constraints are not fair, but I am hopeful that our students are gaining as much as they can, or are learning as much as they can from this engagement. And before I call on our next speaker, I know we are just a few minutes over time, but I would like to see a raise of hands should anybody want to ask a live question, because we are also checking on our chat box and are notifying our panelists if there are any questions that pop up. And my production team, my colleagues there in the production side, are looking out for any hands that are raised for questions. So should you have a question for Mr. Makinda on data analytics please do raise your hand and we will enable your mic and camera so you can ask your question. Other than that, I think on my end, when you said it is not the future, it is now, I was like, okay, so clearly I studied the wrong thing. I'm lost, but it's okay. We learn as we go, and hopefully, yes, going forward, I think awareness is just, it should be created on because I believe also scarce skills have now shifted from being physical work to now also work that can be done in terms of your softwares, in terms of your bookkeeping, in terms of your accounting sciences, in terms of your AIs. So it is just my wish that going forward, more awareness can be raised that financial literacy is not just for starting businesses, it's not just for companies, but it is literally an everyday thing for your ordinary human being. So I am still looking out for hands. I'm not seeing any. But I am aware that our students are utilizing the chat box. So Mr. Makinta, thank you so much for that explosive presentation. And please do look out in the chat box should there be any questions. Should you wish to share anything with our students also, please kindly paste it. If it is something that can be pasted in the form of a link, please do kindly paste it on the chat box so our students can. Okay, I see a hand. We have a hand from Nolutando. Colleagues, can you please assist with enabling Nolutando to come in and ask? Nolutando, please do ask your question. Okay, I don't know if Nolutando is managing there, but okay. Nolutando, you may unmute. Please unmute your mic and proceed to ask your question. And also, if you are struggling, Nolutando, you can just kindly please use the chat box to just type out your question. Mr. Makinta is still here with us and he will attend to your question via the chat box. But without further ado, I think, okay, there's another hand. Mr. Chauke, yes, I think because we seem to have a bit of a delay, or rather a bit of a problem with taking live questions, please kindly do use the chat box, and we apologize that some of you are not able to unmute and participate live, but the chat box is still just as great. So if you can't unmute, kindly do use the chat box to just quickly type your question, and our panelists are here with us. They will answer or attend to your questions. Mr. Makinta, thank you so much. Okay, here's a question. Before I move on to the next speaker, I'll just take one because it doesn't seem fair that everybody's struggling to connect, but I will take just one. It says from unknown user, it says, hello, I would like to ask if there is a specific qualification for being a data analyst. Mr. Makinta, please do answer this question.
Yes, definitely there is. Most of tertiary institutions do offer data analyst specific qualifications, primarily around being data science or data scientist rather. Those are the key ones that you may want to follow because with data science, you're actually not just covering the analysis part of it, you're also covering quite extensive or rather deep dive into what we would call, programming analysis, as well as,
Okay, so we have lost audio from one of our panelists, Mr. Makinta, but hopefully he is still with us.
Sorry, can you hear me? think I lost
Now we
connection
can
a bit.
hear you. Yes, we lost you there, sir. We lost
Okay,
you there.
apologies. Yeah, but short story long. Yes, there are qualifications across tertiary institutions. But again, I think for me, what's key, primarily around, being qualified. If you are going to supplement your qualification with data analyst, you need to be clear on what is required in your profession so that you can identify the exact analysis that you need to be focused on. But if you're going full stream on data analytics, there are qualifications dedicated to that, which definitely go into much details on that. And I think in the past, it used to be, actually still now, it's still under the IT stream of studies. That's where you will find the data analytics part of it. Yeah.
Okay. I think that definitely does answer one of our questions. Mr. Makinda, if you could kindly, sir, just kindly move over to the chat box for me, because your questions are coming through, but unfortunately I can't read all of them now because it is time to introduce our next speaker. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for your presentation, and our students are okay. So I'm getting word from our production team that says that I should read at least one more question. So I was about to hand you over to the chat box, but I will read out just one more question from Pelisiwe that says, I was late. Did you talk about SAICA? So, Mr. Makita, if you could just kindly briefly just attend to that question from Pelisiwe, and thank you for that question.
SAICA, I believe it's South African Institute of Chartered Accountants. I stand to be corrected. I've not necessarily, but I know from most of the accountants that I've actually engaged with, they highlighting that SAICA is in a process to ensure that data analytics is also one of the key skills, accountants needs to embed themselves into. I'm not so sure of the details, but I'm happy to find out from my colleagues, the accountants, primarily just on the SAICA initiatives on data analytics initiatives.
I think you definitely attempted your best at answering that, and I feel like it does leave room for more, but I think our attendee was answered. Okay, just one last question from unknown. Unfortunately, on my end, please, colleagues, I apologize. It's not that I don't want to read your names, but on my end, some names do come up as unknown user. So I apologize. It is not to offend anybody, but on my end, it does read out as unknown user. So the next question is from an unknown user that says, what is the difference between computer science and data analysis? Mr. Makinda?
Yeah, hundreds. Computer science is primarily just focusing on, and I think I've kind of covered this. It's focusing primarily on software engineering, which is where we get individuals to build and produce these softwares I was referring to that we use to perform our data analysis. For example, there's Microsoft Power BI. When you studied computer science, you can develop such a tool. And once that tool is developed, you enable us as data analytics to perform our data analysis. So it's not necessarily what I would say competing qualifications, but one supplement the other. Which again, computer science is to build those softwares and tools to enable data analysis.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Makinda. And please, yes, like I said, if you could just kindly, if we appreciate your time, we know that you are a busy man, but if you do have a bit of time still left, if you could just quickly run to our chat box and attend to a few more questions, we would really, truly appreciate that. Without further ado, fellow attendees, it gives me a great honor and a great pleasure to present to you our next speaker. And also that comes with a bit of of technicality. I'm going to try my best to explain. So we had our next speaker was meant to be Miss Vilna de Bruin, who is part of SETA, South African Institute of Taxation. But Miss Vilna de Bruin is also the head of education at the South African Institute of Taxation, which is SATE. Her focus at SATE is the progression pathways from scholar, student, and article clerk to joining the profession or professional membership rather society. She is highly motivated and a team member, benefiting from experience in the competitive professional body and event management services industries. She obtained her PG DIP in business and management in 2023 and holds a taxation technician diploma. Ms. Vilna de Bruin is passionate about quality assurance and innovation without the professional body and education landscape. Unfortunately, as I said, that we do have a bit of a technical glitch. Ms. Vilna is not with us today, but there is a presentation that she sent through, and her beautiful and lovely colleague, Ms. Kim Tetwa, is here to assist with answering the questions at the end of the presentation. So if you would kindly allow us, my technical team is ready to play out the presentation for you, and Ms. Kim will be here to assist with taking questions. So, colleagues, without further ado, Ms. Volna's presentation.
Good day and welcome to this presentation of the South African Institute of Taxation. My name is Vilna de Bruin. I am the head of education at the institution, and I'd like to take you through a bit of more about us as an institution and what we can offer you as a student. I'm going to switch off my camera and then I'll take you through. Firstly,
Production,
I'd like
I'm
to
so
talk
sorry.
to you about a career in tax, who we are,
Volume,
and then ultimately
please.
student membership.
Not very clear.
So we are a professional body. This might be something foreign and new to you, so I'd like to explain it just slightly. A professional body is an organization that oversees knowledge, skills, and conduct of people in the same profession or the same occupation. So if you commit yourself to taxation as your industry, then you should belong to a professional body that has that same commitment. Like I said, we are the professional body for taxation, the South African Institute of Taxation, and we are committed to that industry. A designation ultimately is a title that you can get, and you can only get this title if you belong to the professional body. So this title will then signify everybody's role and really their designation or membership level within the professional society. So depending on what title you have, your colleagues and your clients and so forth would know what is your skills and your capability within this industry of tax. Just a little bit more about who we are. We are the leading professional body in tax and within South Africa with the most tax practitioners belonging to site. Now, if you want to do someone's tax affairs, it's a legal requirement that you have a tax practitioner number, and we have the authority delegated from SARS to us to award these tax practitioner numbers. So we also play quite a leading role in shaping the legislation and so forth. So we're committed to tax as an industry. You might then want to know, how do you become a member of SITE? What is the criteria for you to join? And really there's two things. Firstly, you have to have a certain academic qualification. And then secondly, you need to have a couple of years of experience. And we'll get into a bit more detail on that. But it's determined by two factors: qualification and working experience. Now, we have various membership levels and designations that we offer. We start off at the tax technician practitioner level, and this is available to anybody who has their NQF 6 qualification and 3 years experience in tax, well, specifically 3-year articles. Then we also have the tax advisor, with it's available to anybody with their NQF 8, essentially having their postgraduate qualification or honors degree, and then again having done 3 years worth of articles. So as you can see, any of the other designations is available after many more years of experience. It's only if you do tax articles that you can become a member within 3 years of working. We have two qualifications as well. The first qualification is the tax technician, and that is on NQF level 6. And then the second qualification is tax professional on NQF level 8. Now, these qualifications are developed in such a way that you can study towards them while working. It's designed for working individuals. You would study part-time and then do your articles full-time. Both levels can be achieved in that way. If you have a qualification on these two levels already, specifically in tax, then there is no need for you to duplicate and do our qualifications as well. So you just speak to us, let us know what you've got in terms of qualification, and then we can advise you which route to take, whether you need to do another qualification or whether the one you have is sufficient. The moment you become a member of SITE, there's various benefits that we offer our members, and here's just a highlight of them. Firstly, we've got the tax helpline where you can submit technical tax queries, and depending on the tax type, you know, whether it's a company's tax or individual tax, we then have subject matter experts that help our members in responding to queries. Right, then we also offer webinars, which is training content to our members, helping them to stay up to date and relevant to what's happening in the industry. We also have a few publications. Some of them are monthly, some are bi-monthly, and this also helps you to stay up to date and make sure your knowledge is refreshed. We have a LexisNexis online search engine, and then we do weekly highlights, mailers to our members, telling them what's currently happening in SARS and so forth. This slide over here talks to the academics. So if there's any academics present in the room, you know, lecturers or head of the department, please get in touch with us. We want to highlight your skills. You have already committed to tax as the industry, and if you want to contribute to our assessments or to the magazines or speak at our events and so forth, please let us know, and we would love for you to get involved in our professional body. Now, how do you become a tax advisor? I like to speak about the tax advisor because that is the ultimate goal. It is equal to a chartered tax, not a chartered tax advisor, sorry, a chartered accountant, you know, CA and a TA. TA is really just for those who committed to tax in their working life and in their qualification. So the route to become a tax advisor would be to firstly do your honors, so your postgraduate diploma or your honors on NQF level 8, and it had to include tax modules. So if you do your LLB or your accounting honors or your tax honors, it had to include at least 2 tax modules, then that would be considered entry or sufficient for entry to the program. Then, more importantly, is you have to secure a job. If you have secured a job through SITE, then you can start your articles, and that ultimately then leads to membership. Articles is the duration of 3 years. We would review you over the 3 years. We would do performance reviews and visits with the company, and we just make sure that you get the correct and sufficient work experience to develop and accomplish certain competencies. Once you're done with your article, then you get admission to write our board exam, which is in the 3rd year. And if you're done with that board exam, your employer should sign you off and discharge you from your articles, and then you become a tax advisor, TASA member with SITE. So very exciting how that journey works. But as you can see, there's a couple of things that needs to fall into place. Firstly, your commitment to tax as your industry in terms of what you study and then securing the job. Right. Then if I go to the next slide, this just shows you a couple of the firms or organizations that offer tax articles. There's many more and they can be seen on our website. But also, if you do come across a company that is willing to employ you and give you exposure within tax, please get in touch. Please tell us, I'm working at ABC company and they're not listed on your company profiles. Can we get them approved for tax articles? And then we would have a discussion with them. We want to recognize the work that you're doing so it can lead to membership with us ultimately, and that you can do articles and have membership within 3 years of doing starting your job. Now we want to assist students as much as possible, and we do this through a student membership. Now, student membership is only available, it might not be necessarily for you yet, but it is in your pipeline and for your future. So when you have committed to an NQF 8 qualification, your postgraduate diploma or your honors, then you speak to us. The moment you're in your final year of studies and your qualification includes tax, then you become a student member. Our goal is during this final year of studies that we want to connect you to the employers. We want to have you secure your first job for when you're done with that honors or postgraduate. The very next year, you start your job and completing your tax articles. So if this is not available to you right now, please bear this in mind, because when you're in that final year and you've committed to taxation as your industry of choice, then join us and we facilitate you getting a job. Like I've mentioned, the benefits of student membership at this stage is that there's this recruitment portal where we connect employers and students together. We advertise tax vacancies to you directly. We have a physical student conference every year, as well as a virtual career readiness webinar every year. And then you also get access to our publications during this year. So you can start basing your studies and your research and so forth on some of our publications. Now, the next slide is is leaving us your detail and then joining student membership. So please don't join student membership if you're not yet eligible. Don't scan this QR code. If you are eligible, however, and you are in this final year of your studies, it's on NQF level 8, then feel free. Feel free to scan and leave us your detail and we will be in touch. If you have any queries and if you're uncertain whether you can join student membership now or what does your pathway look to become a student member, then this is our email address at the bottom. Feel free to send us an email and we gladly explain the process and give you a personalized pathway to becoming a tax advisor and a tax professional of the future. Thank you very much. That was just a brief discussion, but we hope to get in touch with you soon and wishing you all best with your studies. Goodbye.
It feels a little, but yes, thank you so much, Ms. Vilna de Bruin. Like I said, fellow attendees, we apologize. She could not be here with us, but she did send through that stellar presentation. And the wonderful Ms. Kim Mtetwa is here with us to take questions. So if you do have any questions, please do raise your hands. I know that we are experiencing a bit of technicalities here and there, but the production team is ready to assist you with unmuting your mic and proceed to ask your question. Other than that, you also do have the option to kindly please text your question on the chat box, and Ms. Kim is here to attend to these questions. I am just quickly checking up on the production side. I think we do have an update of sorts. Okay. All right. Yes, Ms. The Wonderful, like I said. And unfortunately, Ms. Kim, we're not given your bio, so please, can we not be sued for
No, it's
reading
okay.
one
It's
bio?
okay.
We
No, it's
apologize.
fine. It's fine.
We truly do. But yes, please, to our lovely attendees, Ms. Kim is here for any questions that you have. And also, we'd like to apologize that the audio from the presentation was a bit low, but that is something technical that we could not help on our end. But Ms. Kim is here. And if there are no questions or there are no hands that are being raised right now, she is here with us today. So should you have any questions on the chat box, you could just quickly draft something and she is readily available to answer it. Yes.
Yes,
But
I just wanted to add.
Yes, yes.
Sorry to disturb. I just wanted to add to the presentation that Vilna did, that, apart from tax advisor, which she did mention that it is on the same level as a chartered accountant, that we also have our articles logbook does cater to a specialized designation, which you did see on the slides, which is the transfer pricing specialist. Should, of course, somebody work with an international company, and most of our international companies look towards the transfer pricing specialist designation, which also requires an NQF level 8 qualification, should one be qualified to do that designation for the articles.
See, I told you. Powerful women, well educated, well articulated, and beautiful at the same time. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for that little bit. Yeah. Unfortunately today, technicalities are just there. But on the chat box, we do have a question. I'm just going to quickly read it out loud from unknown user. Again, I would like to apologize that from my end, honestly, some of your accounts do not show your names. So it's not out of disrespect that I'm calling you users, but it appears as unknown user on my end. So from unknown user, it says, hi, I have a diploma in accounting sciences. Do I qualify for NQF 6 tax technician, and will I get articles for 3 years? Yes, that is the question.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. I see on my side it's Nogubonga that asked that question. So if you have a diploma in accounting sciences, and it's not necessarily also just accounting, you could have a diploma in taxation, in accounting, or even law, which has tax module, then you would be able to qualify to do the tax technician 3 years of the articles. But of course, as Vilma did mention, that you would need to secure a job within the taxation industry, and of course within one of our approved workplace providers if you don't have a job already. But of course also you could apply to perhaps become a student member on a tax technician basis, so that we could connect you to the relevant employees. But I also just would like to also say you are more than welcome to attend the student conference that's going to be face-to-face next month. It's more of a student networking event to connect the students with the employers. Some of our approved workplace providers will be there at the conference. So yes, you would be able to qualify for the 3 years of the articles, but you would need to get a job within the taxation industry. Yes, let me just put down my email here for you, Nogmonga, then you'd be able to send me an email. And I would actually appreciate that you send me your updated CV, so that I can also just keep it on my side in terms of having it there for employers should they be looking for tax technician.
Lovely. The little bit that you shared about a student engagement that is going to be hosted, a face-to-face one. Could yes, if you could just kindly please whatever details you have on it, if it's a link, a date or a number they can contact, if you could kindly please just do paste it there, so that they do have access to that information, so they know where to go to or what to refer on, or maybe so they can also just save the date so they know it's happening on this particular day. So if you could kindly just please paste it there on the chat box. So
all right. We don't have a link as of yet for the registration thereof, but I can say that it's going to be on the 22nd of April. Let me just put it down here.
Yes,
next
please.
month. It's going to be other universities, of course, not just Unisa, but Unisa, Tax, UJ, and it's exclusively, of course, for people who are looking to be employed next year. So it's going to be for people who are in their final year of the NQF level 8, so that they can be employed next year.
Okay, that is okay. I'm just checking for updates from the production team, and I'm being asked to. Okay, no, it's fine. Recruitment draft. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If there's anything else, honestly, any additional information, any little nuggets of information that you'd like to share with us, please, you are more than welcome to just quickly paste them there or just quickly share them with us on the live. Also, I currently don't have any hands showing on our end. And again, we would like to apologize for any technical issues that you could be experiencing. But we're making it work because, I mean, the University of South Africa is known for powering through and pushing through. That is it, you know. As my alma mater, personally, you know, it has taught me to be strong and to always thrive to reach whatever goal and destination I am hoping to achieve, with all the difficulties that are in place and all the obstacles and all the challenges. So we do apologize. We have noted that we are experiencing technical issues on our end, but nonetheless, we're going to make it. It's going to be a day and it's going to be an event, and we are going to power through, and we are absolutely grateful that you're still here with us. Without further ado, I would like to call on our next speaker. Our next speaker is a qualified business accountant, BASA, and the Chartered Institute for Business Accountants, CIBA, and a member of Institute of Certified Bookkeepers, ICB, with more than a decade and a half of experience in financial and business accounting, tax and payroll. She is currently the CEO of Vuronga. I apologize, I'm not Binda, but yes, Vuronga Accountants, where she also works as a business accountant, a payroll specialist, and income tax practitioner trainee, former treasurer of the SGB and current treasurer of Brooklyn's Lifestyle Estate Body Corporate, a board member of the Manju, a property investment company, and Vuronga Accountants. Fellow attendees, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome onto our virtual platform, Ms. Portia Nwamba. Ms. Portia, the virtual platform is yours.
Good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. I can definitely hear you. And please teach me a bit of Venda there. Appreciate it, please. We can hear you, ma'am. Please proceed.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm going to share my screen. Is it visible?
Yes. I think we're on the page that says My Journey, Pumuzo.
Yes. Let me just close my camera so that I don't have problems, as long as if you have seen my face. Thank you very much, Unisa, for this opportunity to speak to all the students and fellow colleagues on your side, and also to represent Vuronga Accountants as a business accountant, as the CEO, and also as the member of the board of different institutions. So I will just start off with my presentation so that I do not take long. This is my journey as a Pumuzo from Vuronga Accountants. Table of contents, it will be the introduction, summary of my work and study experience, discovery of passion for tax management as a CEO of Vuronga Accountants, advisory, services, business development, client relationships, and how to become a tax practitioner in South Africa. Introduction. My name is Pumuzo Nwamba. CEO of Woronga Accountants, business accountant, payroll specialist, and a tax practitioner training. Here's the summary of my work and study experience. I obtained a diploma in technical financial accounting in 2007. I gained experience through an internship at Tshwane North College. This led to roles as a finance clerk and later as an asset controller, honoring my skills as a financial management. I embarked on my professional journey in 2007 by completing a diploma in technical financial accounting. Following this, I gained a valuable hands experience through an internship at TNC, where I served as the student counter assistant and as the cashier. In 2009, I transitioned into the role of finance clerk at the head office, focusing primarily on reconciling student accounts. Additionally, I expanded my responsibilities by moving to the asset department, where I served as an asset controller for several years. I also transitioned to an engineering company. I delved into procurement administration and payroll management, enhancing my experience in Sage payroll, creditors, and debtors collections. My pursuit of further education and career growth led me to Woronga Holdings, where I embarked on becoming a qualified business accountant through cyber. Concurrently, I took the roles as a ASGB treasurer at a primary school and also the treasurer of the body corporate, illustrating my commitment to financial stewardship. At Woronga Holdings, I ventured into tax practitioner training, discovering a passion for tax management and compliance. Now I am on the path of obtaining my tax practitioner license while serving as a CEO of Woronga Accountants, providing advisory services and fostering business development. During my tenure at Woronga Holdings, I embarked on tax practitioner training initially as an opportunity to expand my skill set. However, what began as a professional obligation soon evolved into genuine passion for tax management and compliance. As I delved deeper into the intricacies of tax law and regulations, I found myself drawn into challenges and complexities inherent in navigating the ever-changing landscape of taxation. My primary focus, comprehensive advisory services and fostering sustainable business development for our clients. This role entails a diverse range of responsibilities aimed at delivering strategic guidance and support optimize financial performance and achieve long-term growth objectives. Advisory services, I lead a team of experienced professionals dedicated to offering tailored advisory services tailored to meet a unique needs and objective of each client. Our advisory services encompass various areas, including financial planning, budgeting, risk management, and compliance with regulatory requirements. By conducting thorough analysis and assessment, we identify opportunities, improvement, and develop actionable strategies, enhance financial efficiency, mitigate risk, and maximize profitability. Additionally, we provide guidance on tax planning and optimizing strategies, ensuring compliance with applicable tax laws while minimizing tax liabilities. Business development. One of my key responsibilities as a CEO is to spearhead business development initiative aimed at expanding our client base and enhancing the firm's market presence. I collaborate closely with our business development team to identify new opportunities for growth, cultivate strategic partnership, and develop innovative solutions to meet evolving clients' needs. Through targeted marketing campaigns, networking events, client engagement, we seek to position Woronga Accountants as a trusted and industry leader in financial consulting and advisory. Moreover, I oversee implementation of business development strategies, monitoring the effectiveness and making necessary adjustments to ensure that alignment with our organizational goals and objectives. Client relationship building and maintaining strong client relationship, it is paramount to our access as Woronga Accountants. As a CEO, I prioritize client satisfaction and strive to exceed expectation in every interaction I actively engage with clients to understand their unique challenges and goals and priorities, ensuring that our advisory services are aligned with their needs and objectives. By fostering open communication, transparency, trust, and cultivate long-lasting relationship built in mutual respect and collaboration, position Boronga Accountants as a valued partner in our client success. Overall, my role as a CEO of Boronga Accountants revolves around delivering exceptional advisory, driving business development initiative, nurturing client relationship to support our clients' financial well-being, facilitate their growth and success in dynamic and competitive business environment. How to become a tax practitioner in South Africa? To become a tax practitioner in South Africa, you need to register with a recognized controlling body, including but not limited to Chartered Institute of Management Accountant, which is the CIMA, CGISA, FPI, IAC, SAICA, SAIPA, SAIT, ACAS, and Chartered Institute for Business Accountant, which I am affiliated with, and Legal Practice Council. You also need to meet specific educational and experience requirement, pass proficiency exams, and adhere to professional standards and ethics set by controlling body. For cyber members acting as a tax practitioner, maintaining membership, obtaining the cyber designation, and fulfilling CPD requirements are essential. As for tax technician entry, candidate must have at least NQF level 4 qualification with accounting and mathematics components alongside on-job training and workplace experience monitored through a logbook. For tax professional tax advisor entry, candidates need an NQF level 7 in taxation accounting law, NQF level 6 occupational qualification focused on taxation, additionally on the job training and workplace on integral parts of the program. This is our management team, which is Mr. Mabongo, Chirisi Mabongo, who is a business accountant, SA, who's our chair, and also me as a chief executive officer, affiliated with cyber, and also we have got Mr. Dennis Kapike, who's the CEO, who is the director of Boronga Accountants. In a nutshell, that is my presentation, but however, the driving force for me to be able to do that small presentation on what I do on a daily basis, I would start off as in the beginning, I didn't like accounting at all. It didn't make sense to me. And at the end of the day, when in high school, I remember when I had to choose subjects, I ended up choosing accounting just because I didn't understand science. But at the end of the day, I developed the passion and also the love of being hungry to understand more in the accounting field. That's where I am at the moment. At the end of the day, I believe that as students, while you are still on the career pathway and you have to choose your path, you choose your path based on your qualification and also what you love and what you enjoy most. Because if you love what you do, you will deliver to the customers or to the clients, depending also on how you present yourself. But in the nutshell, that's my presentation. And also, I would like to thank Unisa for considering me and also to do my presentation on behalf of Boronga Accountants. We really appreciate the opportunity and also the love that we have received and also being considered. It means a lot, and hopefully in the near future we'll be having more time to do a proper presentation than a limited time, wherein we'll have maybe a whole day or else maybe 2 days presentation wherein at least we interact with students. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Nwamba. That definitely deserves a round of applause. And can I just say that your honesty is so refreshing, especially when you mentioned how you did not like accounting taxes at first. Absolutely, we love honesty. We appreciate it. And I feel like it does open up conversation for other people to reflect on, or rather have moments to just introspect and understand that, hey, but when I feel the certain way about this particular thing, let me assess it all around. Let me just get a proper assessment of the thing before I give up on it or before I move on to something else. So thank you for that. And we absolutely appreciate you. Yes, you are thanking us for the opportunity, but we are thanking you for gracing us with your presence and for that stellar presentation. We absolutely appreciate it. We are here and we are ready for your questions. So dear students, fellow attendees, please, we still have the lady here with us and she's ready to take all your questions that you might have on her presentation or anything that is accounting sciences related that she could possibly answer or have to share nuggets on. I see we do have a question on the chat box. Once again, I would honestly apologize again for not being able to see your names from my end. They honestly come up as unknown user, and that is not meant to disrespect anyone, but it's just a technical challenge that I am experiencing. But the question says, what is it that you offer to students as Vuronga accountants, like internships, or do you offer such? That is the question.
Okay.
Please.
I will answer very well. We have one of the students, I think he's one of the Unisa student, who's doing an internship under my supervision. Whom definitely when he finishes his degree, definitely we will look into appointing him, and also we are also looking into offering other opportunities as time goes by, as the business is growing. At the end of the day, you cannot do it alone. You as I've mentioned that I did my internship at Tshwane North College, so it had nothing to do with Unisa. But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that where I come from, I do have to forget that I also started as a student, and also I required a internship. Definitely in the near future, if we have to add, definitely I will send out this presentation and also the website. And also if we've got opportunities, definitely you will have to look into our website and then apply. We will look into that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Nomba. And okay, another question just came in. It says, do you allow first year students accounting sciences to do practicals in your company for experience development? If you could kindly assist us with that question, please.
Definitely, we are not really specific or which subjects or which field of study you would want to go. Vuronga Accountants is the baby of Vuronga Holdings. Vuronga Holdings it's a mother of Vuronga Accountants. So meaning that on Vuronga Holdings, we've got different departments. And also looking at Vuronga Accountants, it's going to be a bigger one also in the near future. Definitely, we do not choose. If you've got necessary requirements, definitely we don't see any problem in appointing anyone with a qualification related to the accounting industry or any other things that we offer as the business.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lendo, for attending to that question. Yes, another question just came through. It says, can you please send your details so we can inquire? If that is okay with you, Ms. Lendo, you could quickly, please, just kindly use the chat box to paste any information regarding your details, your services, or how students are or our attendees can be able to get in touch with you or interact with you, if that is okay with you, please.
Definitely, I've just put in my email address there so that they can send any inquiry or anything. And then from there, once they send me, I will also give them the link of the our website so that they can look into it and hopefully, and it will have all the necessary information, which means if I can't answer here on the chat, definitely my email address is there. Send me emails. I'm definitely hoping to be flooded with emails and also requests. Also look into also CVs for the near future, and then definitely we will look into that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before I let you go, here's another question that says, is the money or is it average? Yeah, this question I think I'm equally interested in. Is the money or average?
Money in which way? Because the question must be specific. Is there money where? Which part? In being a business accountant, being a CEO, in a field of taxation? I think the person must be specific, because if you're talking about money, money is there
Okay.
in every side, but however, you should be specific with your question so that at least when they respond, it will come specifically to what you are asking, because I don't want to be in a situation where I'm responding, then the questions, the thing is, I do not respond in a way that the person is satisfied, even though I cannot answer 100%, but however, definitely whatever knowledge that I've got, I will definitely give the information.
Okay, thank you for that. I think they are attempting to expand on that question, because I think somebody did say, I think in internship wise, and then another one of our attendees then responded and said field of taxation. So I think the one who said field of taxation is probably asking, Muti, is there money in the field of taxation?
Definitely. There is money. I won't hesitate to say no. Yes, there is definitely money.
Okay. Okay, so I just need to go back in school and okay, thank you for that. I will look into reapplying. But thank you so much, ma'am, for your presentation. We truly appreciate it. We love seeing women thrive. Black women thrive, for me personally, is absolutely stellar beautiful in fields where there's not a lot of females, by the way. So for me, it is truly inspirational. It is always just a moment where I have to step back and say, I see you, I acknowledge you, and we truly appreciate you, because going forward, we know that you are leading our path and you are opening up doors for the next incoming Miss Portia to come in and say, a woman stood here before and she achieved this, and from there I'm going to continue and do bigger things and achieve more. So thank you so much for being you, for persevering, for thriving, and staying within the field. I apologize again. I know I've been saying goodbye to you, but one last question.
It's okay.
It says, why do most professionals avoid the salary topic? What's so secretive about it? That's a question.
Okay, I will definitely respond to that. No one avoids the salary topic. If the question is not specific, definitely it will have to be in a situation or in a way that how is it support, or how much is it? The salary scale is there on the internet. If you're requiring me to say that, no, as a tax practitioner, how much do you get? I mean, that information is out there. It's not like it's something that is hidden. However, each and every company have got their own rules and regulations and also ways of doing things. We also need to respect that, and also I accept that if you are being appointed at Wurunga Accountants, definitely when it comes to salaries and everything, we'll discuss that thing, employer-employee confidentiality. As they've mentioned before, or they've even also on my bio, wherein I say that I work as a payroll specialist. When it comes to that, I can't discuss such information with anyone. However, if the person is our employee, definitely I will have to disclose everything concerning their salaries and also their scale. Or definitely, if you are being interviewed by us, and then from there, in that way, wherein it's a face-to-face interview, and then you asking about that, definitely if the company policies and procedures allows us to open up to such extent, definitely we will be able to give it to you. It is not a secret. It is out there. However, different companies, different procedures, different ways of doing things. We need to adhere to that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Nomba. Yes, I do see hands. I see a hand from one of our panelists, Miss Kim Mtetwa. Miss Mtetwa, you can please just switch on your. Thank you. The platform is yours to ask your question, should you have one.
Yes, I just wanted to add to what Portia was saying, which is very vital, because I can see that it's also the question Junior has is mostly for professionals and professional bodies. It's just also to manage your expectations, because we cannot expect for you to perhaps, if you want a salary, perhaps that's going to range between 45,000 to 80,000 rand. That's going to be perhaps for a company that's more international, like Baker Tilly, and then for South Africa, companies that are more South African centered, that's perhaps going to be different from that. So it's also to manage your expectation. And as Ms. Portia did say, of course, it is out there. You can, of course, look at the salary scales in terms of localness and how localized it is. And it also, salary also is different from what people earn in Joburg to what people earn in Cape Town. So it also goes, it's case to case, actually. So we cannot also be very specific and tell a graduate, no, you must expect this much. We can't say that. It's to manage your expectations and not per se to say it's secretive thereof.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yes, that is beautiful. Look at my panelists just collaborating, sharing nuggets. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here with us today, for sharing your presentation, and for taking time to attend and answer our students' questions. We truly appreciate you. And going forward, we hope that this collaboration it remains with us. It's now part of the legacy that every time we host such engagements, we look forward to having you, even if you're not a panelist, but just to share information even via the chat. And thank you so much for your time, ma'am.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate all the questions and also being considered, and all the best to the students, and thank you to my panelists, and thank you to Unisa. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ooh, thank you. There we go. A round of applause, a virtual one. Fellow attendees, you have been absolutely amazing, and the amount of grace you have given us today, even with technicalities, I truly cannot express how much that means to me. And it's not surprising. I mean, you are from the University of South Africa, and it is known for the spirit of Ubuntu. There's a quote that I like so much that says, tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. And for me, excuse me, for me, that it's always a moment for me to be part of anything, any type of engagement that is hosted by the counseling unit, because they believe that to learn or to teach or to share, you literally have to involve people in the process. And this is an absolute example of how they go about doing things. So before we close, firstly, there's a few announcements that I'd like to make. We would like to take this moment to apologize that according to our program, we were meant to have somebody from Facet today. Unfortunately, they could not join us due to technicalities, but going forward, they'll definitely be part of our engagement. And here is something big that is coming. I don't know if you're able to see the chat, but my colleagues are sharing that there is going to be an accounting careers fair on the 19th of April at the main campus in Pretoria, Makelniek. So there's a link there. You can just quickly visit over there, click on it, and then register to attend, because they are going to bring like all the big guns. I don't know all of them. Please, I'm not from the College of Accounting Sciences. I apologize. But they are bringing all the big guns, all the big companies in the field of accounting sciences, in the field of financial literacy, who are going to be joining forces to come and present to this big career fair. It is definitely something to look forward to. So please kindly take note of that, and do please click on the link and register so you can attend on the day. So you have access to all these big companies who will be there to share information, recruit, and so forth. So please kindly look out for that on the 19th of April, 2024. Okay, and then my next announcement is on signing up for student mentorship. There's a link again, my colleagues that, yes, they have shared it on the chat box. There's a link there that you can visit and quickly just it's a short brief on how to become a mentor and then signing up if you are interested. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful to see or to be able to be part of a process and a journey, and then at the end be able to bring somebody else up or be able to take somebody along the journey and share and teach and ensure that should they encounter any obstacles that you now have experienced and you're able to help them get over those. So being a mentor is something, so it's big, it's a calling, it's a privilege, and it's an honor. So if you do have the time, please kindly also visit that link. And I am looking for more questions. I'm not seeing any. This is beautiful. This is great. I would say silence is concerned, but in this particular case, it hasn't been silent. So we're doing okay. Before I call on our last speaker of the day, once again, the counseling unit would like to take this moment to thank each and every one of you for coming and being part of this amazing virtual workshop, even with the technical challenges that we experienced. And going back to the chat again, we do have a link for evaluations. So if you could kindly please just evaluate. And I know that evaluations normally people look at as, oh my gosh, this is about to take time away from, this is about, that's not necessarily the case. We're only able to improve with such feedback. This is how we're able to upgrade and improve and do better. So if you just quickly just visit that link and quickly evaluate us and leave your feedback, we truly do appreciate it, and it helps us grow, it helps us expand, it helps us be aware that, okay, so going forward we need to change this, we need to do this better. So we kindly please ask you to do quickly evaluate us when you get a chance. With that being said, from me, your ever so grateful and gracious host, Ms. Nomzamo, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you and apologize for any technicalities that we experienced today. I'm going to call on our last speaker of the day, who's going to close for us yet again, the wonderful Ms. Lendo, who is a student mentor in the counseling unit. Please come onto the platform and give us our closing for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Program Director, Ms. Nomzamo. I appreciate that. Good afternoon, colleagues. I trust you're all doing well this afternoon. As mentioned by the Program Director, my name is Christophe, and I'm a Unisa student mentor. On behalf of my colleagues and I'd like to thank everyone who participated in the program. To our speakers, Mr. Fatuane Makahane, for the opening, the warm welcome, and for stating the purpose of the day, which was indeed achieved by our renowned speakers. To Mr. Blessing Mayeza for letting our students know about the different types of accounting, the skills needed in the accounting career, as well as the potential roles within the career. And a very big thank you also to Ms. Amanda Keswa, apologies for the pronunciation, for making our students aware of the help you provide students with the transition from university to the world of work, and also for providing different channels between university students and different accounting bodies. Excuse me. I would also like to thank Mr. Martin Makinda for teaching our students through data analytics within the accounting profession, and a very big thank you to Ms. Wilna De Bruin, who unfortunately wasn't able to join us today, but was kind enough to send us her presentation, and to Ms. Kim Tetwa for her presence and also for answering our students' questions and quenching their thirst for knowledge. Lastly, I'd like to thank Ms. Portia Nwamba for your exceptional service delivery to customers and for taking our students through the process of becoming a tax practitioner. So on behalf of my colleagues and I want to extend our sincere gratitude to all our speakers for your exceptional contribution to the workshop. Your expertise and insight greatly enriched the experience for our students, and we are truly thankful for your valuable contribution. Again, I'd like to extend my appreciation to the technical team and admins behind the scenes for the successful organization of the workshop, although we experienced some technical glitches, but as always, we appreciate your hard work and great efforts. As always, technology is not that trustworthy, but then we appreciate your hard work and great efforts. Thank you. To our MCs, thank you for smoothly directing the program and giving our students the opportunity to ask our questions. And lastly, but not least, to our most important Unisa stakeholders, our Unisa students, on behalf of my colleagues and I'd like to extend our utmost appreciation to you for attending the two-day workshop. Thank you so much for counting our program worthy of your data and time, just making time out of your busy schedules to attend. Your presence means a lot to us, and we hope to see you again in the upcoming events, the accounting fairs, the accounting careers fair next month. Thank you. As the program director said, we have reached the end of our workshop. Thank you to all for coming, for making time out of your busy schedules to attend. Your presence is greatly appreciated. I know words cannot express how much we appreciate it, but we are grateful for that. So thank you so much and have a blessed day and a blessed beginning of the weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lindo. That was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely, I'm not going to add anything to it to spoil it, but that was exceptional, beautiful. You covered all bases. Everybody was included. Everybody felt seen. I felt seen. So thank you so much. And on behalf of the counseling unit, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of today's day 2 of the Accounting Sciences workshop. And for me, your host, it has been absolutely an honor, and till I see you again, or we see you again. Goodbye.